Have you ever witnessed a moment so powerful, so unexpectedly profound, that it stops you in your tracks and makes you believe in the kindness of strangers again? Imagine sitting in a bustling, small-town diner, the smell of fresh coffee and sizzling bacon filling the air, when suddenly one act of courage and compassion changes everything, not just for one person, but for everyone in the room. It was a chilly autumn afternoon when Sarah, a young waitress working the late lunch shift at Millie's diner, noticed him, a man in his late 60s, weathered and quiet, seated alone at a corner table. His clothes were worn but clean, and there was a certain dignity about him despite the tiredness etched into his face. The other customers barely glanced at him, wrapped up in their own conversations and screens. But Sarah saw something more. She saw a veteran. Her instincts told her that much. She'd grown up hearing stories from her grandfather who had served in the military, stories filled with sacrifice and strength, but also loneliness and pain. As Sarah approached his table, she felt a flutter of nervousness mixed with determination. The veteran looked up, his blue eyes meeting hers for a brief second, a flicker of surprise, maybe even relief, crossing his face. "Good afternoon, sir," Sarah said softly. "What can I get for you today?" He smiled faintly, his voice rough, but steady. "Just coffee, please. Black." Sarah nodded and left to get his order, but she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to his story. Minutes later, she returned with the steaming cup, but before she could place it down, a loud voice shattered the calm. From a nearby table, a man, clearly intoxicated and aggressive, started ranting about how veterans were just a bunch of freeloaders and taking advantage of the system. The restaurant fell silent. The mood shifted instantly. Sarah's heart pounded as she watched the veteran lower his head, trying to stay calm. But the insult hung in the air like a thick fog. Customers exchanged uneasy glances. Some tried to ignore it, others whispered among themselves. But Sarah couldn't. She took a deep breath, steadied her voice, and walked over to the man. "Excuse me," she said firmly. "That's not something you say here," the man sneered. "Who do you think you are defending him? He's probably just milking the system like the rest." Sarah's eyes flashed with quiet fire. "This man served his country," she said, gesturing gently toward the veteran. "He deserves your respect, just like anyone else." The room was frozen, the tension palpable. Then something incredible happened. The veteran slowly stood up, his voice calm but carrying the weight of years of experience. "Ma'am," he said to Sarah, "thank you." Then he addressed the crowd, his words measured but strong. "I fought for the freedom to be here today, to sit in this diner, to live in this country. And kindness, that simple act, means more than you know." There was a moment of silence so deep it felt like time stopped. Then, one by one, the customers began to applaud. The man who had insulted him looked down, embarrassed and silent. Sarah felt tears prick her eyes, not just for the veteran, but for the power of kindness breaking through the noise of judgment and anger. Over the next few minutes, Sarah stayed with the veteran, learning his name was James. He told her stories of his service, his struggles adjusting to civilian life, and how moments of kindness like hers today kept him going. As she served him another cup of coffee, she realized that this small act of standing up for someone was changing both their lives and touching everyone who witnessed it. Before James left, he turned to Sarah and said quietly, "You reminded me that hope still lives in unexpected places. Don't ever stop standing up for kindness." Can you imagine how he must have felt, to be seen and respected again after so long? That day, Sarah didn't just serve coffee. She served dignity, respect, and hope. This story isn't just about one veteran or one waitress. It's about all of us, and how sometimes all it takes is a single courageous act of kindness to change the course of someone's day, or even their life. When we choose to see each other's humanity, despite differences or past hardships, we create a ripple that can grow far beyond what we expect. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to reflect on the kindness you've received or given recently. Maybe there's someone in your life who needs to be seen, heard, or defended. What small act can you do today that might be their lifeline? Thank you for listening. If you believe in the power of kindness as much as we do, please like this video, share your own stories in the comments below, and subscribe for more inspiring tales that remind us all of our shared humanity. And don't forget to check out the next story. We promise it will touch your heart in ways you never imagined. Because kindness isn't just a gesture, it's a revolution, one moment at a time.